In the first chapter of our epic Austerlitz wargame, you saw 5 of our club members turn the historical course of this battle on its head. Unlike the 1805 version of events, our players pursued different strategies. It is now the late morning, and the French are driving hard on the Pratzen Heights with Soult, Davout, and Marat's cavalry. But to the north, the Allies have launched a spirited and entirely ahistorical attack to paralyze the French left. Napoleon's only reserve, the Imperial Guard, is yours to command. And in this hour of crisis, you have chosen to heed the plea of Marshal Lannes, committing the Guard north to relieve the pressure on the French left flank. Dave Trois, playing the role of Marshal Lannes today, is confident that you have chosen wisely.
I really appreciate the help that you have given in swaying my emperor to my needs. In the heat of battle, sometimes people forget the big picture, and the big picture is protecting our communications line. And with those troops, the Imperial Guard added to my force, I think I will have enough to actually force the Russians back on my flank. And with what's going on the right-hand flank already, I think really that the Russians and the Austrians are looking at both flanks collapsing. I think it's really going to force them to go turtle.
While Dave Trois attempts to switch his own orders from defense to attack, on the southern end of the battlefield, the French are already in the thick of the fighting to wrest control of the Pratzen Heights. But because of your orders, they must now do so without the assistance of the Imperial Guard.
Could this guy move up?
Yeah, he could move up.
Yeah. So here's the question. I was treating this as 2 attacks because he's an assault. And
I think one makes contact. And
I think you can. I think in this formation you can do both.
Okay.
There's 2 separate roles.
I think
Yeah,
for
you
me,
can take the better of the 2.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Oh. So you have 1 support, 2 rolls.
Okay. I got a 6.
So I was +1 total, having 8.
Mm-hmm. 3 and a charge. Infantry versus infantry. Attacker take the ground. Defender retreat. 1d3 casualties.
All right.
The French assault gains ground on the heights and hurls back 2 Allied brigades. But Tom's troops are stubbornly hanging on. Now more than ever, Tom needs the Russian Imperial Guard to rescue his position from collapse. But the unexpected advance of the French Guard to the north has left both Tom and Ed puzzled and surprised.
All right, so seeing the Guard come in on my right, further north against Ed, that's a surprise. I actually think they would have come up the middle. But the bigger issue is the Guard not coming up my middle isn't that much of a relief because I've got Davout on assault orders to my left, and the rest of the French troops here now have spread out a bit more instead of everybody taking the hill. So I really don't get much relief, and I've got to stand and basically watch the Guard, and our reserve becomes less of a counterattack than a true, this is the last stand for us.
While Tom prepares for his last stand on the Pratzen Heights, Ed realizes that he can no longer maintain the offensive with the French Imperial Guard coming his way. He worries that he's overextended, and he begins to pull back his infantry, while Dave Trois implements an order change to go over to the attack. With Ed abandoning his offensive, the French Guard seeks out the vulnerable junction between the 2 Allied wings. The only Allied reserve, the Russian Imperial Guard under Duke Constantine, faces an impossible decision. Do they veer south to save Tom from envelopment, or do they drive forward to blunt Miles and the French Imperial Guard? Tom chooses to respond to the most immediate danger, redeploying his reserves to the center. This temporarily plugs a critical hole, but it dooms the Allied southern wing to annihilation. With no reinforcement on the way, the Pratzen Heights descends into a feeding frenzy for French cavalry as they ride down the crumbling Allied brigades, rolling them up from south to north all along the ridge. On the northern end of the battlefield, Ed is keen to avoid the same fate. He's in full retreat, desperately trying to stay one step ahead of Dave Trois, who, by the 2 p.m. hour, is finally on full attack orders. Ed manages to avoid tangling with Lannes and Bernadotte's infantry, but he is caught by the French Imperial Guard crashing through the center. By 3:30 in the afternoon, Tom and Ed order a full retreat from the field, with the French nipping hard at their heels in pursuit. This is a major French victory, similar in magnitude to Napoleon's historical triumph, but our players took a very different road to reach this conclusion. And don't forget, we'd love for you to find your own road to Austerlitz. If you want to play this battle at home with your friends, we have our complete scenario available on our website, littlewarstv.com, for free. So go and grab yourself a free PDF. You will need the rules General des Armées to play, and it's a game that we'll be reviewing next on our channel.
I thought the rules, General d'Armée, worked really well. Now, we scaled them up. General d'Armée is a battalion level maneuver element. We made a brigade, so we did change the rules. But overall, I really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
The command frictions are great.
It was a great battle to play and fun rules to work with.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing, I would play this battle again in a heartbeat.
Oh,
Like PTR work.
We hope you guys enjoyed our first Choose Your Own Adventure wargame. If you did and you liked this concept, do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends. We want to thank Total Battle Miniatures for their support, and of course, our amazing patrons on Patreon. If you'd like to watch the other alternate ending, click here and check it out.